Welcome back, everybody. This is Glockman4519 or David Hayes. I am back with another ROM overview. This here is Fluence, and this is build HDMX10. So this is Fluence HD, Moki based, with the Xperia apps. You know, with these that's that whole X suffix, and it is the 10th version of this Fluence ROM. Um, I tried to keep this as stock as possible without putting very many apps on it of my own. I wanted to try to let you guys see what the ROM came with. Again, this ROM's not going to be much different than the other ROM overviews that I've done of Fluence, but I did just want to mention that this is build 10, and there are a couple things that I think is really awesome about the update on this, and I kind of wanted to show you guys. And whenever a ROM comes out that has an update that I run or that I like or that you guys run and like, I usually try to at least give a quick update on the ROM. So we're going to go to About Phone, let you guys see that this is for the Nexus 6 build. Of course, this is Android version 6.01, and the Moki version is MK601 HDMX10. I am running Elemental X kernel, and if you read the OP in the XA thread, it'll tell you that you can run your own kernel if you like. It gives you the instructions on the flashing procedures. I highly recommend you follow the procedures in the OP. If you do, you are not going to have a problem. Believe me, I'm running this on multi-ROM, and this is in a secondary ROM slot, which I will show you, and it's working great. I had no issues with it whatsoever, although I will try to get into that about the whole flashing procedure on multi-ROM when I'm done. And I'm running SE Linux permissive. That is another reason why I like to run this kernel, because it allows me that option. Now the update, there is an update to this kernel. It's actually, I think it's version, let me see, this one is, let's see. Oh, this is 3.09. Now the update to this kernel is 3.11. I was going to flash that, but it did not give me the option to choose permissive. So that's the only reason I'm running I'm running the 09 version of this as opposed to the 3.11 version. I'm not sure if it is permissive or not, if it's permissive by fault, or if it's enforcing all the time. I don't know. I'll check into it and let you guys know. But that's the reason I'm running an older version of this kernel. Developer options are pure CM. That's what Moki is based on. You have your advanced reboot. You have your root access. You can tick that on apps. ADB. Of course, I am running Super Sue version 2.68. That is the version that I am running. I highly recommend that you run the latest version, or at least 2.68. I think 2.67 will work too. But it's going to give you all of your features, at least the features that the developer wants you to have in order for this ROM to run fluidly and work like he planned it to work. You have all your shortcuts, all your development features are all there. If you go down to your animations, you're not going to find your multi-window mode. I think that the developer has this on by default. And if you go all the way at the bottom, you have your kill app back button. If I go into my multi-window or my recent apps, and if I press here, yeah, you see it's multi-window is already set as default. You don't have to set it up. So if I pick it, it's going to set it up for whatever screen that I want it for. And let me pick another one. Let's go to play music. We'll pick it. Oops, I didn't do that right. Anyways, I'm not going to get too far into that, guys. It does work. It's set by default to work. So it's in there. It does come with the privacy settings because it is CyanogenMod based. So you do have all your privacy settings in there, your block color list, all of that's in there, which is what a lot of people like about CyanogenMod builds. You don't find that much in AOSP builds unless it is put into the ROM. You're not going to get that. One feature I would love to see, I would really love to see the or the 3-minute battery mod put into this ROM. I just think for those of you that run 3-minute battery mod, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I love the mod. You don't need a battery bar. You don't need. It's a nice feature to have with over 1,000 different battery icons to choose from. It just really pushes that custom ROM look, and um, I do actually have a zip that I can flash, and it'll work on this. There are a lot of ROMs out there that have this baked into the system. So it would be nice to have that in. Although I'm not going to bug the developer about that. I think the ROM is great the way it is. You have your status bar settings. These are all your settings for your status bar. You have your icons. You can pick and choose what you want to show in your status bar with this feature here. You have your clock settings. You can set it for center, right, left, hidden. If you don't want to see your clock, AM, PM, that's there. Your network speed if you want to show or not show your network speed. You go into here. You click on what you want. Incoming, outgoing is what I have set up. Um, and as you can see, there it is. Uh, then you have your battery status style. I have mine right now for icon portrait. You can set it to be for pretty much whatever you want or even hidden. When I flash that one zip that I do have, I'm going to actually have that hidden. That way I can run with my 3-minute battery mod. I guess I should have flashed it before I did the video, but I wanted you guys to see what this ROM looked like right after you flashed it and set it up with your favorite theme, you know, but without all the apps because believe me, I've got over 100 apps that I download from the Play Store. So I didn't want them clouding everything up. I did, however, download all my Google apps. Then you have, you show your battery percentage, brightness control, show notification count, quick pull down to show or not show your Super Sue icon. If you downloaded that, if you flashed that feature, that is where you can have it show or not show. Um, let's see here. Again, guys, there's not a lot of settings here. This is just CyanogenMod, pure through and through. Here are your security settings, your unknown sources. Though that is set by default as on, so you don't have to have that flashed in order to sideload an app. And I'm going to show you guys another feature that's really cool that came with this update. I'll let you guys see that. Um, Then you have your buttons. This is going to be where you set up your hardware buttons, your power button, volume buttons, all of that, nav buttons. This is where you do it at. I kind of like this whole thing here, where you can go with the 56 DP setting. I love that. I like my nav bar as high as I can get it, especially with this ROM because the DPI settings are so small. It just because of it trying to show off the HD quality of it. They have the DPI settings down right where it would be for the screen to have max resolution. So everything's kind of small to begin with, so I kind of like that as high as I can get it. Of course, you have your buttons layout. You guys can change your buttons up however you want to do it. You just hit that button, physically drag your nav buttons where you want it. You hit the save button, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to put that back. Then hit the save button, and Bob's your uncle. You're good to go. Everything is set up the way you like it. Um, Recent launch action, you guys can set that up to do with whatever you want. Here's your power menu. It's kind of limited. I'd like to see screen record on this, but this is out of Movie Stone's control, as this is baked into the base of the ROM. So I'd like to see Moki kind of put something in there. That would be awesome. Screen record maybe. Just a couple more options. You guys know me. I like my my power button options. You do have end call. by pressing power button. Of course, your camera usage with the power button by pressing it twice. You can turn that off or on. All that is there. Then you have your lock screen settings. This is going to be where you can set up your swipe. All that, it's there. Um, then we have our notification settings. You have your heads up settings. You can turn that on if you want. I don't like heads up. I usually leave that, but it's there for you guys if you want it. Of course, you have your app notification access, your filter notifications. It's all there. Of course, you have your theme engine. Then we have display and lights, your brightness setting, adaptive brightness, your live display. For those of you that use that, it's there. Ambient. I've actually been using ambient a lot more lately. I used to just do a lot of testing with it. Now I'm actually kind of using it. Then you have your tap to wake, double tap to sleep. If you guys use that, I don't use the double tap to sleep feature on any of it. But it is there if you want to use it. I know it works. I was accidentally shutting my screen off because I don't usually have it on, and I forgot to take it off when I first flashed a ROM. So there you go, live and learn. Then you have your sleep. I usually set mine for 2 minutes. You guys can set it up for whatever you want. Cast settings. Then you have your wallpaper, expanded desktop, LCD settings. I don't usually like a 480 DPI. This is the default setting. I normally go for about a 560 to even a 580. That gets my screen more where I like it. But with this ROM, I leave it at 480. It just looks the best. Then you have your Daydream settings. Your font size. You can set that to whatever you want. Normally, I do set that up a little higher. About 110% is where I usually go with that. You guys can do with what you want. Um, then you have your show search bar and recents, and of course your battery and notification lights. This is how I have my notification lights set up right now. It does work. It does not blink, of course. Again, guys, remember that is just something that is inherent with the Nexus 6. They don't blink. That's just the way it goes. But they do work. The light comes on. It comes on in the different colors depending on whether it's a ring, a phone call, a voice message, or a notification. It does go by colors. Let's see. Then you have your sound and volume, which I did not turn down my. Hold your ears, guys. My notifications. I thought maybe that was going to set off a sound. Um, I usually turn that down before I start a video just in case somebody texts me. I don't want to blow your eardrums out. But these are just your standard settings for your volume control, your sound notification, stuff like that. Here are your other sounds. You can have or have not your screen lock sounds, your touch sounds, your volume adjust sounds, all that. It's there. Of course, you can enable charging sounds if you want to do that, and then you have your vibration control. I don't usually like to have my phone vibrate at all. It's just a feature I don't use, although I know a lot of people that do, and it's there. That's what's great about Android. You have choices. You go with an Apple phone, although I'm not an Apple. Apple is what it is. You don't have all the choices that you have that with Android widgets, stuff like that. Um, that is pretty much it. It is like I said. It's Moki. Moki is basic CM13 with Moki's little flare on it. And it's great. I love Moki for what it is. It is a solid ROM. If I had to choose between CM13 or Moki, it'd be Moki all day long. But then when you have Moki and you throw Fluence on top of that, it's an outstanding ROM, guys. What's really cool about this is this developer has built 6 different builds. If you like stock, if you just want to run a stock ROM, he's got you covered on that end with 2 builds. He has a stock version, then he has a stock version that has the Xperia apps on it, which these are the Xperia apps that come with, except for the weather, they all come with it. Um, then he has the Xperia Omni builds. Now, the Omni builds are more for Omni. If you guys like Omni, then you know what I'm talking about. So he has 2 builds of Omni. He has your straight Omni with his little tweaks in there, and then he has Omni with the Xperia apps on it. And then he has the 2 Moki builds, and of course you have your Moki Standard, Then you have your Moki with the X suffix, which means the Xperia apps, these apps here, are on, included in with the ROM, and all the ROMs have his visual media audio tweaks. They're all in it, and there's no other developer out there doing this right now. So that's what I'm saying, guys. It's just awesome that he does that. Um, like this. This is a widget I think is so cool. It's the picture widget. It goes through your what you have in your album, and you can actually flip through them. You can have one up if you want, just to be there all the time. So when you flip over to that screen, that one's the one that's showing. I kind of like to have this one here up, that one there. I was actually going to go with that with the wallpaper, but I thought it just didn't show off the depth of this ROM and the way it looks. Let me take my brightness all the way up. Now the weather app. This is the weather app on here. It's really cool. You set it up. Make sure you do put a location in there. Um, the location I use is just a location that I use. It says YouTube. I don't want people knowing where I live exactly. So I throw that in there. It kind of gives a roundabout where I'm at. Lets me know what the weather is. It's really cool though. You can go with your extended forecast, and this gives you the extended forecast for that. It's just a really good widget. One of the better weather widgets I've used. One thing I would like to see with this widget is a clear version of it, so you could actually see your background through it. And then of course you have calendar. I am running the Google Calendar. That's the one I like to use. So and you have your calendar widget. Of course, daylight savings was last night. So if you guys didn't turn your clock back or clock ahead, you better do it now. And then you have your music app. And again, here was another thing about this ROM. If you guys like music, this is the ROM for you. It's been tweaked and optimized for media consumption, video and music playback. Um, like I said, I don't listen to music on my phone ever, but I did download some music from the Play Store, and I went with the free music. Obviously, I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna pay for music because I don't listen to it. But I did sample through some of their free music, and through even through the speakers, it sounds pretty good. Where you really get the quality is when you plug in a hardwired set of good quality headphones. Man, does it sound nice. You got to give it a try. It's nice. Um, these are the apps that come with this, with the exception of one more I didn't throw in there, and I do want to show you guys that. I actually said something to him, to the developer here on the last build about not having a file manager. So what he did was he put in EZ file manager. So, and this one here is actually from the XDA thread. So if you guys know anything about EZ file manager, it's a really nice root file manager that you can use to go through anything that you guys have to install, second party apps, whatever. If you do stuff like me, get into system, you want to change your system UI in any way, shape, or form, or delete or add apps to your system, you need a good root file manager, and this does it all. So, kudos to the developer on that. I appreciate the inclusion of this file manager. Um, I think I'm just going to get rid of these. Where is the kill app? There it is. Um, that's pretty much it, guys. This is, again, Fluence for the Nexus 6. This is the latest build, version 10. From what I hear and from what the developer's talking about, he's going to try to have an N version put out. We'll see. I can't wait for that one. I do want to try to give N a try. But again, if you guys know anything about me, I run multi-ROM, which I do not have on here right now. I wanted to show you guys, and I'm going to. I'm going to prove to you that you can run this in your secondary position. So we'll go multi-ROM manager, install here real quick. Just bear with me here real quick, guys. I have really good data or Wi-Fi here through my house through cable internet, so it will install very quickly. Go over to the installed apps, hit multi-ROM. As you can see, guys, I tried to keep my apps, installed apps, to a minimum. I wanted you guys to see what came with the ROM. And on that first page was pretty much what comes with the ROM. So if I go to my ROM manager, these are the ROMs I have on right now. And I like to put Shamu. I usually like to, since this is a Moki build, we're just going to throw that one on. As you can see, I am running the Shamu Fluence in a secondary spot, along with quite a few other ROMs. So it will run there. I have no issues flashing it whatsoever. Another feature about this, real quick, is if you pull down from the center of the screen, it's going to give you your suggested apps, which is a kind of cool feature, and you can search your apps, which, again, like I said, it's a really cool feature to have. I didn't go through this. I usually do, but if you press and hold on the screen, this gives you your options for widgets, your wallpapers, your settings. Another thing I didn't show you guys, I think I showed in the last video, was the live wallpapers. There is a new one. It's called Meter, and what it does is it shows you your battery level. By that center circle being your level, the outer circle being, of course, the size of your battery. So if you set this wallpaper, it's actually going to jump from between the circle and a triangle and a square, as you flip through different apps. So if I open up, say, my album, and then I go back to the home screen, it should have changed. See, it changed to triangle. Now, if you tilt your phone around, it's reactive with the gyroscope in your phone, and it moves around like that. It's really fluid like water. So it's a really cool feature. I like this. I like the inclusion of that. It's just one of the other updates to build 10. All right, guys. I think I've kept you long enough. This is, again, Fluence build 10, and this is version HDMX10, meaning it's HD Fluence Moki with the Xperia apps on it, build 10. If you guys like the ROM, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate, and I want to give a thanks to all of my subscribers out there. I do appreciate it, guys. Keep the comments coming. Remember, if you have a ROM that you would like me to flash, go to my Google community page, or my Google community. Put a request in. You don't have to go to the exact tab. Go right to the main page and just put a request in. You guys can talk freely over there. You can talk about what you want, whatever ROM you want. You're not going to catch any flack from me about anything like that. Until I until I flash the next ROM and do another video, I will see you around. You guys take care.